Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a forgotten skill that lets you make this amazing, high-quality, moisturizing soap for literally zero cost. And look, this isn't some newfangled life hack. It's an old Viking trick using stuff you probably have in your house right now. I mean, listen to this quote from our source. It just perfectly sums it all up. The two main ingredients were, and I'm not kidding, basically trash and fireplace ash. And the result? A soap that cleans, lathers, and feels way better than most of the stuff you can buy in a store. That's the big question, right? It just feels like it shouldn't be possible. How can you create something so useful out of what we think of as nothing? Okay, let's dive into exactly how it works. So the secret here, it's not magic. It's just chemistry. And it's a process that we as humans have figured out and been using for thousands and thousands of years. So this whole process has a fancy name, saponification. Basically, when the alkali from wood ash, that's what we call lye, gets mixed with fat, this incredibly molecular transformation happens. The fat literally breaks apart and then puts itself back together as two fantastic new things: soap, which does the cleaning, and glycerin, which is that natural moisturizer that all those expensive handmade soaps are always bragging about. And, this is nothing new. The very first recipe we know of goes back almost 5,000 years to ancient Sumer. The Romans started making it on a huge scale, and by the time the Vikings were around, making soap from ash was just a normal household chore. Honestly, the only thing that's really changed between then and now is what you decide to store it in. Okay, so that's the history lesson. Now let's get our hands dirty, so to speak. You are going to be amazed at just how simple the ingredient list is. So, you need ash, but specifically from a hardwood like oak or maple. The whiter and finer it is, the better. Then you need rainwater, not tap water, because the minerals in tap water can mess with the reaction. You'll need some rendered fat like tallow or lard. You also need a container that is not aluminum, because the lye you're about to make will literally eat right through it. And listen, this last part, it is absolutely non-negotiable. Rubber gloves and have a bottle of vinegar right next to you. The lye is caustic, and if you get any on your skin, that vinegar will neutralize it instantly. Safety first, always. All right, we've got our stuff. It's time to actually make some soap. Let's walk through this process, one step at a time. So here's the game plan, the whole thing in just 5 simple steps. First, we're going to make our lye by pouring rainwater through the ash. Second, we'll test how strong it is with an egg. Third, we combine the lye and the fat. Fourth, we cook it. And finally, we'll do a quick test to see when it's all done. Okay, this next part is it's brilliant. It's this super clever, ancient quality control trick. You just take a fresh egg and carefully drop it into your lye. If it sinks, your lye is too weak. If it pops up and floats really high, it's too strong. But if it floats with just about a quarter of it showing above the surface, kind of like a tiny iceberg, then your concentration is absolutely perfect. No fancy equipment needed. And then we get to the final test. After you've been cooking the soap for a few hours, you need to know if that chemical reaction is actually finished. So you take a tiny, tiny bit on the tip of your tongue. If you feel a little zap, kind of like touching a 9-volt battery, that means there's still some active lye in there. But when that zap is totally gone, the reaction is complete. Your soap is finished and totally safe to use. Now here's something really important to keep in mind just so you know what to expect. Because this soap is made with lye from wood ash, which is potassium-based, it's not going to turn into a hard bar like the soap you buy at the store. It's going to be a soft, smooth, scoopable paste that you can keep in a jar. That's not a mistake, that's actually the correct traditional result. So, you've made your basic soap paste. Awesome. But the fun doesn't stop there. You can actually start customizing it to make it exactly what you want. So if you're thinking, I'd really like this to be a bit firmer, guess what? You just add some regular table salt during the last half hour of cooking. If you want to add a nice natural sense and a little bit of texture, you can stir in some ground up herbs like mint or lavender right after you take it off the heat. Or for a really simple approach, just add a few drops of your favorite essential oil. Okay, making your own soap is a cool project, for sure. But is there a bigger reason why this old skill matters so much right now in the 21st century? Oh, absolutely. Get this, according to the Environmental Working Group, the average person is exposed to more than 100 different chemical ingredients from their personal care products every single morning. That's a huge contrast to the simple soap we've just been talking about. A lot of the stuff you buy at the store has these documented endocrine disruptors and things that mimic hormones. We're talking about parabens, phthalates, synthetic fragrances. And these aren't some obscure chemicals, they're really common ingredients you'll see on labels all the time.
And that's really what this boils down to, right? Transparency. With your homemade Viking soap, the ingredient list is two things: fat and ash. That's it. You have total control. You know exactly what's going on your skin, which then gets absorbed into your body. With commercial products, it's often a super long list of complex synthetic compounds. Which brings us back to this really powerful idea. This isn't about having to buy some special kit or order strange materials online. The raw materials, the ash from a fireplace, the leftover fat from cooking, they're right there. They always have been. The knowledge of what to do with them was just misplaced for a little while.
Hey, if you enjoyed digging into this forgotten skill and you want to explore more stuff like this, please just take a second to like and subscribe. It honestly helps us make more of these explainers for you.
And that really leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? Making soap used to be this totally common skill that just kind of faded away. It makes you wonder, what other simple, powerful, and essential skills are just out there waiting for us to find them again?